This isn't really one of these winning kind of videos, but it has that, it kind of came out of that feeling, that sentiment. Um, it's mostly that I'm like sitting back, like, it would be really wild to work in like the dramatic arts and be so utterly and completely defeated by like your own team's efforts, like that you guys literally created a dramatic products and services or something, um, that not only did people not really want, but it was sort of like, well, it's on, so I guess we'll watch it, and but then finally it was as if Dad came home from, like it was Ferris Bueller's Day Off, and the dad is going to come home and realize that I was driving his fucking Ferrari around. That's what this, I can't shake that it has that quality so strong that now this guy who's coming through, oh my God, I can't, his name just now, it just is gone. For the Discover CWWB time mergerific merger with the mergertasm. So yeah, it's Mergergeddon. It's the Mergergeddon, and the Mergergeddon has hit, and the angel's horn is blowing, and the man's saying, "Where's my goddamn shekels? Where is all my fucking money?" There's all these people now looking at the one part, and really, okay, yeah, don't get too excited. Calm down, sip coffee. Gotta think it through, because I've been trying to think. I've been letting this just roll over in my mind. There's a little baby bird. I got a cup over at the little kiosk and put the bird in the cup. It was sitting there under the nest, and so I tucked it away so it wouldn't be on the ground and stuff getting it, and it was cheeping, and I was like, oh, that is just so sad that's how things are. And and then whenever you offer charitas to any of God's creatures, it makes you have to think about a lot of things, about being the giver, being the one who receives, being the one who needs, being the one who pleads out, please help me, somebody help me. And then is there a nest full of birds just watching you die, watching you get stomped to death by rioters, watching as you do drugs until you just die. Just all these things were rolling over in my mind, and I woke up thinking about all these people who were in the creative field, like all the key grips and gaffers as well, that they're like, okay, yeah, I'm working on one of these comic book shows. It's pretty terrible, but it seems like the network likes it. After a while, after 2 seasons, you got to figure, I guess the network likes this. So, you're thinking, safe bet. You're gaffing, you're gripping the keys, all the stuff that those people do, that you gaffers do, gaffing away at the gaffnology, And so, I know, I'm kidding. I once had to ask my dad, I'm like, what is a gaffer? And he said, why don't we look it up? That was always the mistake. That was one of the greatest things ever, but it was always the mistake. Dad, what is this? What does that word mean? And then the response, well, we don't know what a word means. Let's look it up. And so Yeah, but that's a good solid middle class upbringing, I suppose, in a way. So the but I was thinking about, like, what if you had this pretty great job in the creative realm, and suddenly this guy comes through and he's just like, I want my money. This is over. We need shows that, people really, we need shows that have a fan base. I mean, like, so because there's one part of it that's kind of like this, because I keep having to, the older I get, the more I'm realizing how much Schadenfreude is a sin. It's delighting in cruelty, and it's wrong, and I shouldn't, but it feels so good. Well, that's the moral coil. And so I was thinking about this, like, okay, we have this issue of these people who try to come up with all this wonderfully creative stuff, and now they're being told by, like, their benefactor, like, this is terrible. Like, it's because that's what's being done. That's really what's happening, is, they're being told by their benefactor, like, this is terrible. This is awful art. We're dumping this as soon as we can. And that would hurt if you really believed in it. If you were really, like, fully into it, like, this was your thing, this is what you did, like, it would hurt. It's not, I'm betting, like, some of these people are probably like, oh, I'll move on to something else, or blah blah blah, but probably a lot of these people are like, they want money, like, we're doing this for the sake of art, or like, nothing like this has ever been done. And it's like, well, okay, yeah, but now this is really a thing of, you've also caused there to be great waste of money. Money is kind of trapped time. It's like oil. It's energy that's trapped in another form. There was and then on top of it, the art you created really caused society to kind of fall apart. You were sort of the artwork of a revolution nobody called for, but for some like angry college students and crazy people, and that it was allowed. Like, it was allowed. Your destruction was just allowed. It was like, yeah, why don't you go and destroy things, kids? Yay, isn't destruction fun? And so now, not only do you not have that creative outlet, but now with the rest of the economy and everything else, that now, like, the liberals run it all, and they've run it completely into the ground, that now the way the numbers are trending, it's something like 3 to 4 out of 10 women who are right now, like, you should have men throwing themselves at you. About 4 out of 10 of you are going to probably spend really about what will probably be about 40 years of your life completely alone, like, without male companionship. Like, yeah, at the present trend. Because, you see, one of the things about dating for men is that it's a set of skills, it's charm to a great extent, and you have to have the disposable time and income. There's only a certain period of time of life where all those come together with your libido. So there's a window of men who are going to be looking. But then it's the issue too of, well, in the culture, because men are the arbiters of the relationship, Well, so are you just what's the deal? Are you the woman who is going to be the relationship woman, or are you the woman who's going to be the fling? And that you'll have fun for now. And a lot of women really are kind of honest about, like, no, I like fun. Like that is what I'm looking for. I'm not really looking to be married. I saw my parents married, or I have these issues about men and marriage and commitment, and men are like this, and so I don't want to be married. And which it's like, that's fine. That's okay. Really, to a great extent, many, many, many men really have come to a stage where, no, we don't want necessarily to be married. This is really something that actually, like, that there's, a lot of men that just, we're like, no, we've seen so few of them that seem happy and successful for very long. It's not really worth the time investment and money. There's always money. Always money involved. So you're trying to make then kind of a cultural art product for what audience, what ideas were you trying to get across? You had, with comic books, the thing about this that's really kind of galling, though, with the comic books is you have literally the entire story laid out for you. Like, your firm owns the stories. You had, in fact, actually, like, the entire direction, the camera shots, it was all laid out for you by former artists. You managed to lose money when you owned the idea product, tried to make television shows out of it. And I mean, this guy just came through with sunglasses on, says, "Where's my fucking shekels?" That's it. Holy crap. This is the part of me that's now the Schadenfreude part is growing, But at first it's kind of sad, there's a tragedy to it. But then it's just like, it happened like that. Somebody came through and said, how did you borrow my Ferrari? And, like, you didn't even take it to the car wash. I mean, like, I see the miles on it. You didn't even take it to the car wash. What were you and Ferris up to? I'm never letting you hang out with that Bueller kid ever again. And now there is a degree of that then there's dark, and then there's dark Magga. And so this is some part of this. I kind of want you to think about this, especially when it's the liberal artists, that it's like, that you're kind of into, you don't like Christianity, and you're kind of into, like, ritual magic a little. You like talking up satanic stuff, like tee-hee-hee, it's like, because you don't really believe it, it's not really real. But so now this great opus, your great opus now has created dark Magga. Because dark Magga, it turned out, people got in touch with me and said, oh no, totally legit, completely legit, from the ground up. So your opus has created dark Magga. So before, you had all these moderate people who would vote economically conservative. This was such a normal thing to say. Like, that is the actual culture of hip-hop 90s cool people. Was culturally liberal, economically conservative. And the reason why is because of the hip-hop era reality, post-punk era reality of the junkie. And this was something that's been rolling around for a while. So growing up in San Francisco, Me and all the homies, none of us gave anyone shit because they were junkies. Fuck them. That was that's just our mentality when we were, that's just how it was. Like, like they were these street junky ass bastards, and it was, and I still even recall, it took me a while to remember quite specifically how you would have this moment. Like, there was me and one of my friends, Jamie, and Jamie and I were kind of the softer guys in the crew. And then the homeless guy would say something that we were like, why? Why do you have to say some shit like that, dude? And they got nothing. Then they got no money, and it was like this so often that we would just be looking at each other like, why, dude? Like, why did you have to go and say some crazy shit? And I still remember that about him, Jamie and I, that we were really like, you never know, maybe this guy's not so bad. And like, finally we just, like, because like, holy shit, like, the hard white dudes, they were funny as hell, and they had no mercy. No, and they would joke with the homeless person and be talking shit. That was one of those things that I'm like, man, what? That is like that's a white power. Oh my God. Okay. Calm down. So, but I had to think about this for a moment, where I was like, okay, so all these journalists that were trying to protest Trump, all the artists trying to protest Trump, by the end of it, all their companies are gone. The people are coming in, buying the company, and now the idea of somebody's bought the company and all of you are fired is now the thing for the liberals who are like liberaling all over the liberal places. And and dark Magga is all over Twitter, and people, and you could, now people are being very open and honest about it. Like, now we really don't like you people. Like, before, we just thought, oh, there were conservatives that they had hope, and I remember saying this: you must take their hope away from them. And I remember I felt bad about this idea. Like, it was really something that I kind of didn't like, this, because it's this very dark idea, but now it's showing out. It's like you have to take kind of this silly hope away and make people see the absolute reality of, no, it's that bad. It's that bad. And you guys, like, sort of helped in being this consistent force of, we're going to make the not just the opposite claim, but the nadir claim. And on top of that, we're going to say, we're going to broadcast it in exactly the same language across every major media outlet, only to make it look more legit. That's what makes it look more legit. And so I'm like really like loving that. It's like, no, you all have created this, just like how that the Proud Boys wouldn't exist without Antifa just assaulting people in the street, being gang members, doing what gang members do, getting all high and drinking and whatever, and then going and committing violence and stuff like that, Well, and now you all were dedicated to anti-constitutional, anti-American propaganda and trying to hide what you were up to and conniving. And then it turns out, actually, consistently being apologists for people who harm children and women, like consistently. Whether it's like mass Muslim rape, not really wanting to prosecute black men for rape, allowing teachers to harm children, allowing all kinds of, people to lop the cocks off of their sons, all kinds of nuttiness. That now the beauty is, there, like your movement has now created sort of this like like that you've made coal to a diamond. Dark Magga's a diamond. It's a Vajra. It's insurmountable. It is the indestructible. It's the Tathagata of thinking. The Tathagata of Western political thought. And it could not have been done. It could not have been accomplished without you liberals taking it to where you did, and especially in the creative space, and especially in a way that obviously you knew you were burning other people's money, and that everybody from top to bottom was hiding the fact that there was no sales coming out of it, no services coming out of it, that everybody was hiding that. Everybody was trying to make it last. And that suddenly, where's my fucking shekels? That's all I want. All I want now is a skit like Andy Warski with the sunglasses on. Sunglasses on, like a pillow under his, like a button-up shirt, and where he just like walks into a place, he's just firing people, like he's like firing people, like and it's like they're like hurling, their bodies are like hurling up against the wall, like he's using the power of firing. He says, "You're fired. Where's my shekels?" What do you mean, sir? You're fired. What do you do? I'm a key I'm a key grip. Oh, okay. Where are the fucking animators? You're fired. You are fired. You are fired. Like, and it's like Sonic the Hedgehog. Like, he says you're fired, and they like throw up their hands. They bounce backwards, and like shekels come like blinging out of them, and he like picks up, and it's he has to get way more. Get way more out of them than this. That's why they're fired. That's the image in my mind of what the Mergergeddon is doing to the creative field. And do we even need more memes for Twitter? Holy shit. Oh man. Oh. Zip the coffee. Somebody's trying to make this really awkward turn. I can't figure out what they're trying to do. So I'm gonna get going later.